I am Representative Deborah Gonzalez of House District 117, which contains portions of Athens-Clarke, Barrow, Jackson, and Oconee counties. My colleagues and I stand here before you to bring light to a situation that has developed within the last 24 hours that we feel every Georgian has the right to know about so as to take action to protect themselves. Yesterday, some of their representatives added the exact language from a failed fingerprint bill, House Bill 623, to a passed Senate Bill 336, a completely unrelated bill. Through this action, they have shown that they are willing to sacrifice the security and privacy of thousands of Georgians. Senate Bill 336, authored by Senator Renee Unterman of the 45th District, deals with requiring Internet service providers to not let some of their clients know their data has been subpoenaed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in certain situations, such as in a criminal investigation into child trafficking. House Bill 623, on the other hand, authored by Representative Andrew Welch of the 110th District, authorizes not only the collection and storage of biometric data for the first time and contrary to security best practices, but also the giving of this data to the FBI without necessary restrictions. We defeated this bill on crossover day. It was a bipartisan defeat, as members from both parties realized the magnitude and gravity of giving such high-risk data to the FBI wholesale without making provisions for the protection of innocent Georgians who could potentially be treated as criminals. Leadership from the Judiciary Non-Silver Setzler Subcommittee is trying to get the bill passed through the back door of Senate Bill 336. Do we really want the Georgia legislator authoring the giving of our biometric data to the FBI for them to do whatever they want with it? Isn't the legislature supposed to protect Georgians? What could be these representatives' motives for doing such a deceptive thing? Do we not have the right as Georgians to require transparency from all of our elected officials and that they act in good faith when they execute their services on our behalf? It is a shame that a potentially good bill such as Senate Bill 336 is being hijacked and its very passage endangered by a bill that puts thousands of Georgians in jeopardy. Today, we ask that you call your representatives, that you call members of the Judiciary Non-Civil Committee, and especially Chairman Rich Golick of that committee, and let them know you want them to do what you elected them to do. Protect Georgians. Protect you by protecting your biometric data by having the language of House Bill 623 removed from Senate Bill 336. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Could the folks who are doing this reasonably argue that the bills are related enough, given that they both talk about bad data and criminal investigations, and isn't that the kind of stuff, maybe they're two separate questions, doesn't that stuff happen here all the time?
Well, on the first question that you asked, could they argue that they are similar? In yesterday's hearing of the Judiciary Non-Civil meeting, we actually heard the GBI director testify when I asked him directly, what do these two bills have in common and how do they relate so that they can be put together? His answer to me was one word: nothing. That's your first question. The second question of, isn't this what happens all the time here? I am often quoted as saying, when you keep doing the same thing over and over and you expect a different result, that is actually the definition of insanity. I ran a campaign that I was going to come here to the Capitol to make a difference, that something was broken. And there's many of us standing here who ran on that premise. Just because things have been done the same way over and over doesn't mean that that was the right way for them to be done, nor does it mean that it's the way that we should be doing them moving forward. I could not promise as a minority candidate and a minority elected official that I can do sweeping changes and pass legislation. But I could promise transparency. And that is exactly what I strive to do every day that I am in the Capitol. And it is time that some of these things see the light with the windows open.
I didn't listen to the debate on crossover day
Mm-hmm.
when this bill was defeated. You said that it was a bipartisan defeat. How would you characterize the depth of the debate, and to what extent is it reasonable to expect finality when a bill is killed?
I think the extent of which the debate went was further than it had ever gone in subcommittee and committee. We actually talked about some of the technical aspects of saving biometric data and the difference of what makes that data so high risk versus your name, your social security number, even your password. You can change those. You can't change what makes up you. And so what I was asking for was to assure that we had the right controls in place to protect this data. And I questioned, why did we have to give it to the FBI, and what assurances the FBI could give us to protect that data as well. And if you can repeat the second part of your question.
I'm not sure I remembered, but what I remember, when I looked it up this morning, this bill actually got defeated twice, right?
Yes.
I mean, how much killing does a bill need in order to die?
That's our question. That is really our question. Is that, the other thing that came to me is, since it got added to a Senate bill that had already passed the Senate, will it go back if this got passed in the House? Or is this now going to set up a precedent where a bill does not have to be approved in both chambers, but that can get added after crossover day and then sent to the governor's desk? I think those are questions that have never been asked, because this has never been brought to the attention, and nobody has questioned that these things are happening. And I think it's time that we, as new legislators, step up and say, you know what? This is not right. And we cannot keep doing what we have done before.
If the language is added to the Senate bill, though, and
Yes.
pass the Senate and then go cross back over.
We would hope so. But the Senate did pass the original part of this bill unanimously.
So, I mean, it would have to pass both chambers,
We would hope so.
and you would have to sort of decide whether you wanted the good part of the bill enough to let the bad part of the bill be included.
Yes, and in fact, yesterday at the subcommittee meeting, I proposed an amendment that just striked the language out. Minority Leader Trammell supported that amendment. Unfortunately, it did not pass. It was a 2-2 tie that was broken by the chairman.
Part of the reason this interests me is because I'm not sure how many folks actually use this term, but the term zombie bill has emerged over the last few years. Especially with 2 killings on one night.
Within 15 minutes, if you look at the timing that we defeated the first one, a reconsideration motion was made. And immediately after that reconsideration motion, they went for another vote, and we defeated it twice. So I don't know, maybe it just keeps resurrecting.
And you're against that?
I am definitely against that. I think, you know what, there is so much that we have to do, right? There has to be a time where we can say, okay, let's put this to bed. Let's move on to the other work that we need to do. And let's stop playing these games, but get to the work that Georgians elect us to do.
I've run out of questions.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Any other questions? I appreciate, again, your time in being here. And if you have any further questions, you can always reach out to me at deborah.gonzalez@house.georgia.gov. Thank you, and have a great day.